Hey guys, Ash here, just a heads up, this video will contain spoilers for Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 1, so if you don't want to get spoiled because you're keeping up with the US airings and not the international spoilers, this video definitely will contain spoilers, so click off this video while you can if you don't want to get spoiled. But with that said, on with the video and I hope you guys enjoy it. Remember in my review for Power Rangers Dino Fury episode 15 where I said I would like this conflict between Aiyon and Zayto to last a little bit longer? Well, it didn't last a little bit longer and was wrapped up in this episode, episode 16. And that was kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing with how rushed the conflict was finished at the end, because there's some moments they could have dragged on and made this conflict a 3-part episode or a 3-part story, but it is what it is, and I had a lot of fun watching this episode because there was some awesome lore and backstory dropped in this episode that I just ate up and I loved. Not only that, we're introduced to a brand new general called Wreckmate, and that guy's a lot of fun, so he's really cool. So with that said, let's talk about Power Rangers Dino Fury episode 16, Ancient History. So the episode opens up with Aiyon teleporting into the Rangers Command Center, and we learn why Aiyon was awakened. And I love past episodes coming into play for this episode. So remember the Ninja Nexus Prism and the Lord Zed episode? Well, they kind of tie into why Aiyon had awakened, because the Ninja Nexus Prism, why it was diving into the ocean, was to alert the Morphin Masters where Aiyon was. And what the Morphin Masters did, the green one specifically, told Aiyon to wake up because Lord Zed is back, and if he reigns supreme, it could mean the end of the universe. So, once again, Lord Zed being out there in the Power Rangers universe after episode 14 has consequences and is probably leading up to something big in the nearby future. Whatever that is in Season 1 or Season 2, I'm really excited. But in this episode, we also get an explanation why Aiyon was at the bottom of the sea this whole time, and it's a pretty interesting explanation. And during the Sporex War, the battle wasn't looking so good for Zayto and the Rangers, and they had to evacuate the Megazord, and Aiyon's little escapee pod landed in the bottom of the sea, so that's where he's been the whole time, but we don't know where the other Rangers were. Did they escape alright? Did they die? Did something happen to them? We're not entirely sure, but I'm hoping we get an answer what happened to the other Rangers later down the line. But the biggest revelation we get in flashback land in this episode, and this took me by surprise because this is kind of raise your eyebrows, make your jaw drop moment, and that is Zayto's people created the Sporex. That's right. They created the enemy they're fighting in this show, which is a crazy, crazy reveal. And the reason why they created the Sporex is because a great evil was coming to Rafcon, so they needed an army to fight this evil, so they decided to use the Sporex. But the Sporex hadn't been properly tested, and instead of fighting with the people of Rafcon, they fought against the people of Rafcon, and Zayto is kind of the one responsible because the Grand Elders ask Zayto, are the Sporex safe to use? Should we use them? And Aiyon tries to reason with Zayto, saying, hey, the scientist people, the science people haven't fully tested what they can do. They might be dangerous. And Zayto kind of ignores them. And as the leader, Zayto says, yeah, it should be fine. And lo and behold, like I said, we got the Great Sporex War, and we got to see a little bit more of that flashback in this episode. So, Zayto kind of made a bad decision. And because of this bad decision that destroyed a lot of their planet, it's why Aiyon doesn't like Zayto, because Aiyon tries to destroy the little Sporex machine, the thingy-majiggy on Rafcon, but him and Zayto get into a bit of a scuffle before it gets released, and Zayto sort of defeats Aiyon with ease, kicking his ass, and that's when we get the Great Sporex War flashback that we've seen in episode 1. So I really do like the Zayto and Aiyon flashback we got in this episode. I kind of wish we could have seen a little bit more of it, but I just like seeing more of Zayto's flashback. Also, seeing Planet Rafcon, that beach they film it on, Also, some lovely scenery over there. It does make it seem like an alien planet with all that sand and the trees of New Zealand. It looks really freaking awesome. So everyone here is a little bit mad at Zayto because he could have stopped the Sporax beast from ever happening. And Aiyon says he's going to lead the Dino Fury Rangers from now on. So after this, we get this fight with Mucus and a couple of henchmen at this shipping dock place where Zayto and all the other Rangers are slipping and sliding on fish oil. It couldn't be real oil because, you know, kids show it's fish oil, so gotta make it a little bit comedic, but you have everyone slipping and sliding on fish oil. Zayto gets, like, pinned against a box, so he's kind of a, not a moving target in this episode, but he's kind of, held up during this scene where he's unable to fight, and Aiyon gets the spotlight in this episode, doing cool things like sliding on wood and stuff like that. Izzy and Harvey have a cool moment where they use a box as a shield, but this scene here was wacky fun to put some Rangers in the spotlight, but it also shows that Zayto is kind of having doubts about himself being a leader because he's not calling the shots right, and Zayto was kind of a bit of a show-off in this episode. He was trying to take charge, so I can understand sort of pushing Zayto to the side to make him look like a little bit of a fool here and there with his decision-making, but overall this was a cool fight scene, and I enjoyed it quite a fair bit. After that, we then have the Rangers looking for Aiyon Sword, well, everyone but Zayto. And the thing that confused me when the Rangers were looking for Aiyon Zord with the laptop from last episode, why are they using the laptop from last episode? I mean, wasn't that meant to be some sort of villainous laptop with evil programs in it? I don't know, I guess they did like a factory reset on the laptop. I don't know, but I guess that's what they did. But they're using that laptop from the last episode, which was really cool. It's cool to see that laptop making an appearance again, but it did confuse me for a second. I was like, wait, wasn't that the bad laptop? I guess they kept it around. But it is what it is. So, after that, we then are introduced to a brand new general. I think this character is going to be a general moving forward because he's a robot. He was made on a table like Slifer and Boom Tower. And that is Wreckmate. And Wreckmate, I kind of love and I kind of don't love. His design looks freaking awesome. I love Wreckmate's design. It's a really cool looking suit. I freaking love it. Also, this guy talks in pirate shanties all the time and makes pirate puns and pirate speak in almost every scene he's in, and as soon as he started talking pirate lingo, I was like, oh god, we're going to be hearing this, like, every time he's on screen. Oh no. But I got used to it really fast. I mean, he did have a really fun one-liner, which is when Mucus and Wreckmate are getting ice cream, and the ice cream falls from his hands, and he's like, my creams! Which, I don't know, it reminds me of, no, my precious goo, that scene, but Wreckmate's really cool, and the Rangers fight Wreckmate, and we get to see brand new henchmen with scuba masks on, which is really freaking wacky. I mean, these guys put the Z-Putties to shame with how wacky these guys look. I mean, oh. But when he said, meet my new henchmen, I was like, oh, new henchmen. And then it's just like the same henchmen from before, but they got scuba masks, and I was like, oh, okay. But either way, these guys look really wacky. So, the Rangers fight henchmen, and he grows really big, and they get into a Zord battle with him, and this is where Aiyon's sort of calling the shots as a leader, and they take the battle to Wreckmate into the sea, and they get wrecked by Wreckmate, where they have to abandon the Zord. And this is where I mean at the start of my review, where they could have made this a three-parter, because it seemed like the Megazord was going to be destroyed. It seemed like the Megazord was going to lay dormant as the Rangers had to figure out a plan how to get the Zord back, or find Aiyon Zord, but in the last, 4 minutes of the episode, by sheer plot convenience, Aiyon Zord appears out of nowhere and helps the Rangers, which they kind of explain why, because Aiyon's Ranger power thingy surged and it made his Zord find him. I don't know how they fully explain it, but that's the explanation they give, but Aiyon Zord shows up, awesome looking Zord. It combines with Zayto's Zord and we get to see a brand new Zord combination, which also looks really great. And they destroy Wreckmate at the end of the episode, so all is well. So at the end of the episode, Zayto and Aiyon are best friends again. They fist bump, they hug it out, and they're best buds at the end of the episode. While Aiyon also learns the important lesson that being a leader is really hard because you have to make tough decisions, and those tough decisions, people can judge you on what you do and how you make them. So that's the life lesson that Aiyon learns in this episode. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid episode. I love seeing more of the Rafcon flashback. I like how the Lord Zed stuff is building up to something bigger, no doubt about it, whatever that is. I'm excited to see it moving forward, but it's cool that we've got a brand new Gold Ranger, and I'm excited to see what Aiyon is going to bring to the team moving forward. And with that said, I'm going to bring this review / mini podcast / discussion / audio book of Power Rangers Dino Fury episode 16 to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're brand new to the channel and you like what you see, hit that big red subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell and select all so you never miss an upload when I upload. Also, special thanks to all the members such as Swaggerful and Andrew McCoyle. If you want to get your name shouted out like these guys over here, hit the join button or become a Patreon on the channel so you can have your name in the credits of every video or shout it out like I did for these guys over here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day or night. Peace out, take care, and I'll see you around. Bye!